Like I was saying, that we will be joined by a very, very high-profile guest, and right here in the studio is seated with us, talking about the ambassador of the Republic of Ecuador. I hope I will murder this name, but his name is Leopoldo Rovayo Verdesoto, the
Well done.
ambassador of Ecuador.
You could learn Spanish.
Yeah.
One of my challenges is to have a Nigerian Spanish community in
Mm.
Abuja.
Mm.
So
Oh,
maybe
why
we
not?
could begin with you.
Okay, that's good. All right,
morning,
thanks for
Ambassador.
joining us today. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure to be here,
Mm.
and thanks for your interest.
Yeah.
You
Thanks
know,
for
we
coming.
have been even we have the same roots, but we have not each other. So this
Yeah.
gives me the opportunity to
Mm.
to talk with the Nigerian community that Ecuador has landed in Nigeria in
Mm.
December when I presented letters of credence to Mr. President
President,
Muhammadu Buhari the 15th of December. So we are trying to do our jobs to fit and strengthen the ties between Ecuador and Nigeria in all fields.
Mm. Okay, before you actually came into Nigeria to establish your embassy, what was the relationship like with Ecuador? Talking about Nigeria and Ecuador, do you have any idea?
We have a good relation in the field of that we both are members of OPEC. So
Yeah.
most relations were managed by our missions in Vienna to the OPEC. We also we have a very big earthquake in the 80s.
Mm.
So our pipeline was broken. So Nigeria and Venezuela take the part of our contracts, so we could have some cash flow to repair the
pipelines,
pipeline.
yeah.
That's very, very helpful because we were no income in the country, and so they take the petroleum to our customers. They give the petroleum to our customers, so that helps us to have cash flow. After that, we have signed agreement on cooperation 95 probably, and but the issue is that it has been confirmed by our parliament in Ecuador, and all the procedures have been made. But in Nigeria, we are on the way to asking the federal government to consider to send it to the Congress and to the Senate, because I have been researching how it works. It has to be a meeting between both and take knowledge of this, and I could think that even the times had passed, it could be a good framework. We are also negotiating at the moment the withdrawal of visas for diplomatic and official passports.
Okay.
That will help us, our authorities, to travel and
Easily.
to make more easily
Movement.
the things. Also, one memorandum of understanding of political consultations, and Nigeria has proposed recently, 2 weeks ago, a treaty about economic cooperation. So I think we are on the track. Maybe it's not a good moment for both countries. You already know that the petroleum has dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not a good time for business, not a good time for investments, but maybe it's a good time to put the ground on order
Yeah,
and
so that
to go
to the next level.
more profoundly in the years. You know, there are some embassies that have been here for 6-7 years of other countries, and after that work they have make a good a better relation in economics. In terms of economy, we have Nigeria has sold some petroleum to Ecuador and some pieces of replacement of pipelines, but it's, the commerce is very small. We are far, but we could make it.
All right, Lizzie.
Okay, Ambassador, I'd want to find out, from what you've just said, Nigeria has been there at some point for Ecuador. We have given assistance, especially when you had issues with your country. We supplied petroleum so that you can have cash flow. Now it is evident that we have security issues. How can Ecuador be a part of our insecurity and help us find a bearing? How can your country help our internally displaced people? What is Ecuador doing to support Nigeria in our own trying times?
Ecuador has supported Nigeria and all the countries that had problem with terrorism. In all the resolutions and all the resolutions against terrorism, against Boko Haram, and any issue about ISIS had been supported by Ecuador. And Nigeria knows, and the Nigeria authorities knows the compromise of Ecuador about these things. Also, we support the programs that in the multilateral field are making Nigeria, because we also give money to United Nations agencies. Also, maybe if Nigeria asks, we have had a big problem. We are in the other part of the world, but we had a problem with the guerrilla in Colombia.
Yeah.
So we had to reinforce our border all the time. Mostly 8,000 to 10,000 policemen, army has to be
at the border.
At the border, not against the
immigrants,
the government of Colombia. It was against the guerrilla that didn't pass through our borders. Also, we had supported Colombia giving refugee status to 50,000 people. We have supported Colombia taking care of 500,000 people that lives in Ecuador. There are 500,000 Colombians that lives in Ecuador. So Ecuador has been real solidarity with Colombia, because it's our border. It's like you with Cameroon, with Chad. You have a very big borders and big problems. But the idea is to try to help to solve the problems.
All right, like my colleague rightly asked, either we like it or not, insecurity is not a good phenomenon for any developing nation like ours. And you are seeking economic ties with Nigeria, and all of that. With the prevailing security challenges, do you think your country will have the patience to go into business ties, with Nigeria, considering the security challenges, considering the present economic realities that we are facing as a mono-economy nation? Is Ecuador ready to stand by Nigeria facing all of these challenges?
Well, the embassy is studying the possibilities that we have in terms of commercial ties to have more products to introduce in Nigeria. And of course, if Nigerians exporters would like to know some things about Ecuador and how could we manage business, the embassy will help. Also, Ecuador has a very important law that has recently been made to attract investors to Ecuador. It's a law that tries to incentivize the partnership between the state and private entrepreneurs. So Nigeria has a big potential to invest in other countries and also to receive investment. You know that Nigeria is a very an economy that's growing all the time. Maybe one of the issues that Nigeria should solve, and this is popular, so I hope that Nigerian government didn't get disgusted with me, but it's in everywhere. When you solve the problem of power, Nigeria will be a monster in terms of increasing the development, the economy. So why we solve the power? The power issue. We have the same problem 20 years ago, probably, in Ecuador, that we have a scarcity of power. So what we do, we study what is happening, this government, Mr. Rafael Correa, and what is the problem? And what was the problem? There is a small mafia in Ecuador that manages power because they don't want us to have hydroelectric, because somebody takes profit on having selling generated
Greater.
powers by big fuel mega power suppliers. So they don't want it because they have the business
yeah.
made, and they put also talking and making some lobby. They
Yeah.
put the price of the kilowatt. They say, I would like more cents of kilowatts. So you have the business made.
Yeah.
So maybe the government has to make the same model of Ecuador. What's going on with the power sector, and try to find out how to solve
To
it.
solve it.
Yeah, it's like that. You know, which interests are behind the actual
The electricity
in
problem.
the electricity issue. So
Mm.
they will make it. You have a very intelligent man, Mr. Babatunde Fashola.
Okay.
I have heard him. I have the privilege to hear him in the Habitat 3 Regional African Convention,
yeah.
because Ecuador is going to be the host of the third Habitat
Okay.
in October.
Okay.
We are waiting 35,000 delegates from all over the world in Quito. So I think it's the time.
Yes.
Nigeria has to get the time, and of course, you know, the problem is at the moment people didn't know how things are working, because probably 10 years ago or more, everybody now knows that you have to tip everybody. Right, the moment we support the Mr. Buhari against corruption, is supported all over the world, because with corruption it's very difficult to make business. Very difficult to make business. Even in South America we have corruption. We are not angels.
Yeah, I know.
But the point is that if they said that they are going to have a bridge, we will have a
The
bridge.
yeah.
Probably it costs double,
But the bridge will be there.
but the bridge is there. The problem is when you put it in the budget, the
We
bridge
don't
4
see it.
times, and there is no bridge.
That is the problem.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem.
See the difference between
And of course, we always try to improve how we control things.
Yeah.
How we control things. You know, because and we have problems also.
Yeah.
In South America, we have problems.
Problems.
In a country of I used to live, I will not tell the name in Europe. They put an airport and there are no planes. A very nice airport, probably more nice than Aziquiwe airport,
Azikiwe,
and there are no planes. It's closed. Could you believe that? So the business was to make the airport,
Yeah.
And there are no
but you
planes.
cannot use
The
it.
airport and they had no planes.
At least the airport is there.
Yeah, but so corruption is
it's
everywhere.
everywhere.
Anybody is an angel. You know, in the United States, they make what they call lobby.
Of course.
How could you explain that we have shoots every time? The lobby of big companies that makes you look
Weaponry.
nice.
Weaponry.
Buy a weapon,
Weaponry.
and it's incredible. You enter in that places and you have everything. You have everything. So lobby, all the times against. We have politicians had to go against the lobbyists and think more about the people.
Yeah.
And I think the President Buhari is doing well, but people is impatient because the problems have been there for almost
long.
50 years. He is just 1 year, and he's doing well. And of course, Ecuador and other countries will support this government.
Wow.
Okay, you've been in Nigeria for quite some time. You know, maybe in the space of three, 4 months, a few months or something. How would you rate Nigeria? You know, especially in our quest to create a friendly business environment, in our quest to have good bilateral relationships with countries across the world, and in her quest to ensure that the territorial integrity of the nation called Nigeria is protected. How will you rate Nigeria since you came in?
I think the president is doing well in terms of that he had visited key countries. the only way that you could attract investors is saying what you are doing. So what Mr. President is doing, Mr. Buhari has go to the G7. He's the most powers economies of the world. He has go to the Sharm el Sheikh forum recently. He has go to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar to talk about the oil issue. The bad thing about all this is that we don't have a good price in the oil. That is the main money that Nigeria and of course Ecuador has. But he is doing well. You know, he has recently received Mr. Zuma from South Africa, and they want to make things together. That Nigerian people go to South Africa, South African
And come to Nigeria.
come here to make investments, because the key word is investment.
Yeah.
So one of the issues that, of course, when you want investments, you should have a framework, because nobody will going to invest if you don't
Have a
know
framework.
how much taxes are you going to pay, if you could take out your money after having your revenue, of course, before paying taxes, after paying taxes. So that has to be very clear. And one very important issue is about the security.
Yeah.
You know,
Of the nation.
I had been in a theater last day on Sunday, where the Niger Delta Commission presents a theater piece called Little Drops, and it represented how the Nigeria, the Delta of Niger, how dangerous it is, you know. And it was it, and it's good that everybody knows, because if you don't know the reality, because most of the people didn't go to Delta Niger because they said it's very, very bad, you can go, you could get kidnapped, and it's good. And it was the Nigerian Commission for Delta. It's presided by the lady. It was a thing about Women's Day, and I was very proud to be there, and I could check how the reality is. Of course, it has improved, and it has to be better.
Yeah.
Also, of course, there are other issues like how you manage the exploitation of oil. There are other standards. The oil companies cannot just kill the nature. There are other standards. So, and they know. They know.
They know.
They
Right,
know.
listen.
Yeah.
But of course, the government had to say, you couldn't go do like this, because this affect people, this affect the water. People cannot live. They get sick. We have the same in Ecuador.
Oh, really?
After 20 years ago, 30 years ago, oil companies just go. It cuts. There is petroleum over there. Nothing happens. The river get contaminated. No problem. No problem. No. Things are different.
Yeah,
We
things
have
have
different
changed.
standards. We are part of this earth, and we have to protect
preserve
it.
it. Yeah, that's true.
I think that's
true.
very, very key.
That's
All right, I know that a whole lot of Nigerians are actually watching you today, and most times it's not easy getting ambassadors of countries of the world come, talk to the people on national television like ours. All right, we will not let you go without asking you this question. I know that Nigerians will be interested in traveling to Ecuador, the southern part of America. So what are the requirements? What will you tell Nigerians that wants to go to Ecuador? What will be those attractive things that you have in Ecuador that you think Nigerians will be interested in? What are those things?
You know, the first point is that we are opening the consular section in April.
Okay.
Because we have, everything is today by internet. They had invented a virtual consulate where you could have the application, and with the help of the consular section you could ask for the application.
Okay.
The first thing is you don't have to present fake documents,
Of course.
because we have been interviewed with some of the embassies that has consular sections, consulates, and most of the people present fake documents.
Wow.
And we know how to manage. You say you have 10 million naira in Yuba Bank. We found them because it's our job.
Yeah.
No money. And with the scanners, it's very easy to fake documents.
Yeah.
But there is. So the idea is first, don't do that, please.
Yeah.
I had an experience. For example, one day I was at the U.S. Embassy in Peru
Okay.
asking for a visa. So I put it. And one of the questions that they used to make is, and they ask when you go into the queue, they ask you to get your telephone receipt.
Okay.
And why? So the idea is that they ask you, how do you have relatives in the U.S.? People, no. But it's in your phone receipt. 7 phone calls to New Jersey, whatever. So you are cheating. The idea is not cheat. Please, not cheat. Yeah? And you could go directly to the consular sections. You cannot go through somebody, but that makes suspects, because there are people that make business with
Agents.
this.
Yeah.
Agents.
Yeah.
We have people from an African country. They are trying to go to Ecuador. They went to Egypt through a travel agent from Barcelona, and then it's coming for us. And it's a people that really wants to go to the States.
Yeah.
I don't tell the country. I have make 2 diplomatic mistakes. Talking about an example in United States consulate, and it's fair, because they discover that you are cheating. Yeah. One of the things that maybe the people don't like is long way to go, because there are not direct connectivity. I am going on holiday at the end of this month, and I have to take. I am not making propaganda, but it's the route. I will not tell the airline. It's Abuja, Paris, Amsterdam, Quito. It's 1 day, 3 flights.
Wow.
And on the way back,
3
I had to sleep in Paris,
3
because you
stops.
cannot make it
Connect.
on the way back. So, but Ecuador is nice in terms of tourism.
Yeah.
We have a small country, 2,075 kilometers.
Wow.
275,
200. Okay.
250,000 kilometers.
Yes.
So, and the advantage that we have is we have the highland that splits the country, the Andes. So we have the coast, the highland, and the Amazon basin. The beginning of the Amazon is in Ecuador. The first fountains of the Amazon that goes to the Atlantic. So we have the 3 different climates. We have all the weathers possible. Not so hot as Abuja, maybe. In some parts of the Amazon, we could have 35 with a lot of humidity, petroleum zone, but it's not so common. But we could have 28 at the coast without any problem.
Thank you very much,
thank you
Ambassador.
very much.
Thank you for coming around. It's a privilege having you here. We hope when we call you again, you will come.
Of course. You guys already know that I don't have no fear to the press.
You're very friendly to the press.
And to anybody, you have to communicate why you are here and why we are going to fall in love in Nigeria. For example, one of the things, just a small clip that you have to do is try to improve the internal tourism around Nigeria, because there are some zones that are already safe. You have nice spots. Why don't try to go there? Nigerians should try to make tourism
within our country. We like traveling out. Everybody just wants to travel out.
Everybody wants London.
Everybody wants to travel out.
All right, everybody wants London. Everybody wants to travel out. Yeah, this is how much time will permit us. You know, it's a privilege having the Ecuadorian ambassador right here in our midst. Maybe let's just do this today, Lucy. Maybe let's sign out with the ambassador together.
Him, yes.
You know, so everybody that is watching, we are together with the ambassador of Ecuador to Nigeria, talking about Leopoldo Rovayo Verdesoto. And together we've been talking for close to 40 minutes, and he's told us what his country stands to benefit, and what Nigeria also stands to benefit from Ecuador. Ecuador is actually in the southern part of America. All right, thank you, Ambassador, for coming.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you so
Anytime
much.
you want,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will come.
Okay,
Thank you
that's very
much.
so we have a media tie now
Yes,
with
yes,
Ecuador.
yes,
in
we
as
do.
much as we have the ambassador with us.
We do.
So at any point we'll knock at your door,
He'll
you'll
come.
definitely be in the studio
You
with
know,
us.
I have only 3 employees. One is press attaché. The driver and my secretary.
All right, this is how much time will permit us.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
Very
watching.
important.
See you
Press,
tomorrow.
without press, you don't exist.
No,
Yeah.
you don't exist. You're right. You need us.
Oh, the funny thing is that politicians.
The economy of Ecuador is based mostly on export of oil, bananas, shrimps, gold, other primary agricultural products, and money transfers from nearly 1 million Ecuadorian immigrants employed abroad. Currency used in Ecuador is United States dollar. Their GDP per capita is 6,002.89 US dollar as of 2013 by World Bank. Their gross domestic product is 94.47 billion US dollar as of 2013 by World Bank. Their GNI per capita is 10,720 PPP dollars, US dollars as at 2013 by World Bank. Their GDP growth rate is at 4.6% annually. As at 2013 by World Bank, their gross national income is $108.8 billion as of 2013 by World Bank. Internet users of the country is 40.4% of the population as of 2013 by World Bank. You're welcome to the program Market Pulse. I am Lucy Agba. Interestingly, we're talking bilateral relations between a South American country and Nigeria. We're going to be extracting all that entails within this beautiful country called Ecuador, and we'll look at how we can work together as a country, Nigeria and Ecuador. Ironically, we have some similarities. Their strength is oil. But apart from their strength, they do a whole lot of other things that are agro-inclined, which we probably have left behind. Speaking today, this afternoon, my guest is the ambassador of the Ecuadorian Embassy to Nigeria, and we will be looking at how the economies of the two countries work. The Ecuadorian ambassador to Nigeria is Leopoldo Rovayo Verdesoto. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I hope I got those names.
Yeah, you're doing it correctly.
Thank you very
You know,
much.
this is a Spanish name
Okay.
origin, but as Nigeria, we also have some similarities. We are a multi-ethnic society.
Oh, really?
We have multi-ethnic groups, and of course, we have almost 1 million Afro descendants
Oh,
in
really?
Ecuador.
Tell us about your economy. Ecuador's economy.
You know, Ecuador's economy, as you already said, is based in oil, but I should say that most of our incomes is just 32 of the petroleum percent of the petroleum sector,
Okay.
and the rest is from the other type of products. Some traditional, what we call, we had already separate
Okay.
traditional to no more
Not
traditional.
Huh.
It depends on which grade of change has made. For
Okay.
example, we have cocoa in the first issue and then chocolate.
Okay.
But you know, we have made a long process. One of the first products that gets engaged to the international market was the cocoa. It was in 1875 almost, but it has taken 120 years to make chocolate. So
It took Ecuador 120 years to make chocolate.
yeah.
You've done well.
No, what I'm point is that you have to try to make the root. You know.
Yeah.
Recently, last year, we have an exhibition of chocolate in London, and a trademark of Ecuador gains
there?
10 prizes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are mating, and of course we still
Making.
sell cocoa to major brands, because the cocoa of Ecuador is very appreciated for Swiss-made chocolate factories. But we are also made in the root. But I'm saying that it takes time, but you had to make it, because it's the only way that you could improve the people's life.
Now, you have cocoa, Nigeria has cocoa, but your cocoa, after 120 years,
Yeah.
you have proceeded to making chocolates. Our cocoa, because we did not stay with time, our cocoa is faded away. Our children don't know our cocoa. We don't make chocolate. We don't make anything with it. We don't make beverage. What is the difference between your country and our country? Why did we not progress? What did you do right that we need to learn from?
I am not here in Nigeria to give lessons, but I think it's good. In one of the things that diplomats used to do is to share
ideas,
the things that you do, because the idea is that the world and our two countries had to improve the life of people.
Yeah.
So one of the main things that Ecuador is doing is we are trying to solve the problem of power. 20 years ago, we have in the same situation as Nigeria.
Okay.
We have also a small mafia that manage the production of energy. So they don't want the government to build the hydroelectrical plants to substitute the petroleum energy with hydroelectric, because they will lose the market. So I think that Ecuador finally, with this government, said, well, it's okay. We have enough water. We are going to make the hydroelectric plants. We are making 8 hydroelectric plants. We are going to export. We have the ability. We will have the ability to export to Colombia and Peru, especially to the borders, because for them it's too expensive. So I think for industrialization in any way, an issue that has to be improved and solved is power. So for sure, Nigeria is making the effort. Mr. President and his Minister Babatunda Fashole are making the effort to solve this issue. But it's not too easy. You know, as in Ecuador, probably when you do some economic movements, you touch the pocket of somebody. So you have to realize that the policies had to be made for the well-being of the people. So that's it. I cannot talk more because I'm thinking I talking enough.
No, you're not talking too much.
The idea is that politics is about the wealthy of people, of all the people. So for that you have to do some steps, and sometimes you have to distribute things and make the risks in other issues and change things. If the power sectors have some problems, as in Ecuador, the government will have to do what they have to do, and the people will understand that it takes time.
What steps did the government of Ecuador took to get rid of power problem?
The main one is to develop hydroelectrical plants,
Okay.
because Ecuador burns $500 million per year, because we have plants that functions with petroleum. So we just burn. Imagine that you burn $500 million per year.
Okay.
So what we are doing is changing this matrix of energy passing through hydroelectric. So in 2017, Ecuador will have this money to do other things, and of course the idea is that if you have more power, you could try to attract investments, for example, for steel plants, for aluminum plants that are very high usage in power.
Okay, we're going to take a very, very quick break. When we come back, we will look at other sector of the Ecuadorian government and just oppose it with the Nigerian economy and see how we can learn from them or they can learn from us. Don't go away. We're talking about how the Ecuadorian government transformed their economy to what it is today. And one thing that the ambassador is making us understand is that power, electricity, was a major tool and vehicle of transformation of that economy. So, Ambassador, yeah, you were talking. You said if Nigeria will solve power problem,
Nothing will stop to this country, because you have such too many resources. You have a big population, so you could have the market almost could be developed. Of course, more people will have work, so they could go into the market, and that will develop the economy. No, so it's a great thing that they are trying to solve the power problem. In that way, you could have energy for the plants, for the offices. The investment will be more attractive, because if a person wants to have a factory right now, he has to solve by himself
the power problem.
the power problem. Of course, he will prefer to pay for the service instead of have a giant generator
that makes so much noise.
and also you have the change climate issue and all the compromises that are in that issue from Paris and from Rio de Janeiro previously. So we are trying to avoid pollution too. So that's also an issue.
Now, corruption has been identified as one of the biggest challenge of the Nigerian economy. Did Ecuador face corruption? At what level, if you're comparing it with the Nigerian declaration of corruption?
I could not compare, but what I could talk is in general about the experience. The problem in some countries is that, of course, we have fight corruption, and our government is trying to fight it. But what usually happens is that if, for example, they say that we need a bridge to cross river, the bridge is there.
Yeah.
But probably it costs a little bit more than normal. So it had cost $100 million. It cost 130. So that 30 million, we don't know. Maybe the materials go up. What happened? We know.
Yeah. But the bridge is there.
The problem in some economies and in some countries that you put 4 times
the
in
price
the budget and the bridge is not
there.
there. So that makes a big difference. But of course, for example, we have put some internet applications like it's called the web internet sites for how do you say, for buying goods for the public sector.
Online business.
Online business. So, for example, the Ministry of Health wants to buy 10 X-rays machines. So they put it in the portal, and people could apply online and says, well, I have this type, it complies your terms of reference,
and this is the price,
and this is my price.
So it's open and transparent.
Yeah, that's the idea, to fight about openness and transparency. So it's more easy that even a small importer could reach and gain.
Yeah.
Because they are giving the price, and the idea is to avoid direct contact between the provider and the receiver. So, but you know, it has taken, as I said, this government has implemented this, Rafael Correa's government, but nobody had realized that it could be possible to do it. So, but it's more transparent. So everybody that wants to buy something, you need 100 vehicles for the police. You put what you want, SUV, whatever. Company says, I could provide the SUVs, this will be the price, blah, blah, blah. That's it. So they choose. And they have also the opportunity, if they don't comply the terms of reference, they say, we cannot make it, but because nobody has this type of bike. So that makes more business more easy, you know.
How much support does your government provide for small businesses, medium businesses to grow?
What we used to have is what we call, and I think in Nigeria we also have that, some lines of credit from what we call the CFN. It's a Corporation of Financing, National Financing. So they used to give some lines of credit. They give it to the banks, but only, for example, you will give this only for agriculture. So the people could apply directly to CFN, also to the banks. So we share the money with the banks. So that's more easy to find out the contact between the money and the agriculture. And we used to have also a national foment banking that's exclusively mostly for agriculture purposes, to buy cows, to buy seeds and that sort of things.
Okay, that's very good. Now, you export gold?
Not yet in big quantities, you know.
But you export?
But we export. Mining is one of the sectors that we are trying to grow. We have almost 40 possible mining places for zinc, manganese, copper, iron and things like that. So we have reprospected, and so if people would like to invest in that, we have a minister of strategic sectors. If you want to invest build a small hydroelectric plant. We have the project, we have the information, so I'm making some propaganda, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I want to understand, you export gold, like I was saying, you export shrimps,
Shrimps.
you export bananas. How are these things packed? Do you have industries that put these things together, or you give them out as raw as they are, and then they bring it back to you packed? Because that is what Nigeria as a country go through. We have cocoa, we sell out cocoa, they give us back beverage and chocolate. We have crude oil, we sell out crude, they give us petroleum. How does it
You
work?
know, it makes a small change. It's not the same if you buy if you sell fresh fish than canned fish.
Agreed.
That makes the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has another value. It's more easy to transport. And I don't know why last year tuna products go so down in the price. You know, but it's the market. You know, it's the but it's really is more or less the same as petroleum. The tuna price goes really down. But the idea is that you have to try to make some process. For example, we have banana, but if you make flour of banana,
Oh, you do flour.
yeah,
Okay.
of banana.
Okay, so you don't just export bananas.
Yeah. So we
Ah.
have traditional banana, but we call them no petroleum, not traditional. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
non-petroleum.
it's traditional, but it has some type of process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't just export bananas, you export them processed.
In process.
You don't just export fish, you put them in tins. You
Exactly.
package them. That means you have industries.
Yeah, we have small industries, especially in the coast, for example, for the production of fish in a port called Manta, and that area. We have a big.
How can you bring all of this to bear in Nigeria in our bilateral understanding and agreements? As you're in the country, how can Nigeria benefit from the things you already have?
Well, the quality of our products are very good because we try to have all the higher levels, because all these products, our main markets are United States, European Union. We export, for example, roses to Russia. So it has a high standard level. Even it's simple, but it's very well done. So we could go to the markets. We export broccoli to Japan, for example.
Really?
So but it has been a process, you know, because to have millions of dollars of broccoli in your export agenda, it takes time. People had to learn how to do it, and the process of packaging, the process of fridging, and also to support the transport of all those issues. So it takes time, but you could make it. You know, you have to have the curiosity to do it. And I think one belief that I have is that also rich people and industrials and people that have money in Nigeria or even in another places, it's also economy has a social issue, because if you have a plant of 1,000 workers, one of our proud things is that you are feeding 1,000 families.
Yes.
And you are feeding probably the people that sells the can, because you only take the tuna. You also have another factory that's making a change, and you are improving your country. Even you are making money, but one of your prouds should be that you are helping your country and you are feeding people, are helping people. And we have to pass from the tribal issue of I go to the chief and say, oh, give me $100. No, you have to work for that $100. What you are going to do? I could give you seeds, but I will not give you your $100.
That's the difference. You guys give platforms upon which you can grow your economy. Do you intend to talk to our presidents on some of these things, how they can improve Nigeria?
We are open to any ideas that the Nigerian government would like to know about us. You know, we are open if they want to to share it in the petroleum area, in the cacao area, in agriculture area. For example, recently we have an issue with cocoa, and we ask also the support to Nigeria. You know, the cocoa is going to have in Rotterdam a big meeting of the cocoa of the Cocoa Codex Alimentarium, because cocoa has small amounts of cadmium, so they are going to put which is the amount that could support the product.
Mm.
So that has a lot of issues, because if they put it so low, your exports will not go to the US, to the European Union. So we are also ask support in Nigeria, because we know that Nigeria has a lot of cocoa, and they should be interested in it.
Yeah. So you are very open to dialogue with Nigerians and with Nigeria to help us build our economy.
Yeah, of course. We also have problems, you know.
Yeah.
If you check the Economist, you will see that Ecuador has to cut $6,000 because of the oil price. Probably we have to cut more things in the budget, but we are trying to ease this year, because this year will be very strong for all the world. You know, recently the World Bank has said that China is exporting 25% less than last year. So that's a problem, because most of the goods that China makes have is manufactured with some incomes that we sell to them. So probably that will be a problem for everybody,
Yeah.
because China is exporting less, and of course is importing less, 13% less. So this will be a hard year. The World Bank has said already that the world's economy will drop in the growth, but the World Bank is also asking that the big economies, such Germany, United States, and others, have to make some issues so the economy cannot go so down for everybody. So this is a strong year, but I think that, for example, in the case of Ecuador, Nigeria, they are making a good thing. For example, the treasury account that you made is very good. You avoid leakings.
Okay.
And it's not leaking of water, it's leaking of
No,
money. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
You had identified ghost workers, you know. We have also that case in Ecuador.
Do you have case of ghost workers?
Yeah. I remember it was the mayor of one of the biggest cities of Ecuador. He has 450 ghost workers.
450.
450. It's not too much.
That's so much.
But it's a problem.
Yeah, it
so, but
is.
we discovered that, and you know, I am very, how do you say, concerned about public resources. You know, public resources are part of the nation. You know? So you have to spend it wisely, and you have to know that all the public resources that you have to do it wisely. It's like to manage your house, you know. Why you manage your house properly, and why you don't manage your nation properly. I think Mr. President is doing their best. He's a real leader. He's a patriot. And as you said about corruption, he needs more support of all the society of United States. Because the problem is that when corruption is everywhere, you don't know how it's going to be functioning after there is no corruption. Because everybody wants a tip to move things.
Yeah.
So that's not it. So I think that president needs more support from the society, because the society will improve after this fight of the corruption, and that has to be continued. When you know, democracy is alternancy, we don't know, but the society, if the society gets empowered about the war against corruption, the point is that next president cannot do other things. He has to say, okay, we will have to take this policy. So it will be a policy of the state of Nigeria. You will have more investments.
In Nigeria, we have the dollar affecting our naira. We have currency fluctuation. Do you have currency fluctuation in Ecuador?
We don't have it because in '99, after a big bank crisis, we have to kill our national money and put the dollar as our
What
money.
do you mean by that?
We just,
What was the national money?
it was the sucre.
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 Uh-huh.
So
It
Ecuador was using sucre.
sucre.
And then in 1999, you killed sucre.
And we passed through the dollar.
And
But
you now
that was traumatic because 17 banks go on bankruptcy.
In 1999.
So what the state has to do is to do that. It's the only way to save the economy of the country, because you mean most of the banks, I think the 3 or 4, they no go bankruptcy. And we have a very big social problem because almost 800,000 Ecuadorians leave the country to Spain, Italy, and other parts of Europe, and we have a social problem because babies lost the contact with their families, broken families. You have a social issue.
Yeah.
So the money that you said that we receive, it has some pain on it because it has separation in this. And of course we have a previous big movement of people in the 70s to the United States. But the point is that we had to make that because banks were not well controlled. So they begin to, I have a bank, I have an industry, so I make a loan.
Yeah.
But they don't put the money in the industry. They go to Miami to buy flats or whatever. And who pays?
Who pays?
And it was the money of the people. And the change that they made, the dollar in the day previously of the dollarization is $1, 14,000 sucre. The day that they change, they put it 25,000. So if you have 100,000 sucres, you get $4.
Oh my!
You imagine the people, how the people
suffered. Yes.
It was a very big problem. So we are not perfect. We had already solved that sort of problems, but human creativity and hopeness and honest work could do it. So we had make hand off of this issue, and we tried to build our country since 2000. And we are making better. We have this problem, but we will do it because we have the hope, the resources, and also the human capacity to do it. You have a lot of human capacity. A lot of people from Nigeria study in London. I don't know if it's good or not, but I think it's good. Best universities of the world are in UK. Some of them go also to Canada. So you have the material, and of course you have to give the satisfaction to the investors, and things will go. But people is impatient.
Nigerians are impatient?
Yeah,
Oh,
Ecuadorians
really?
too. And also you have to know, because when people ask me about Nigeria, of course, my friends, I tell you, this country has only 55 years, but they will make better. Remember when Ecuador was independence in 1830, we have 1885. How we are? We are in very big problem. In 60, the country has 4 governments.
4 governments ruling a country.
Yeah, 30 years after independence. So we have to make a lot of negotiations between all the groups to make everybody happy, and Ecuador could be stable. We have also a territorial conflict with one of our neighbors. It was like a knife during almost all our Republican times. Finally, we solved the problem and we closed the border. So you can make it. You have the talent.
So you're suggesting that we close our borders too?
No. I'm saying that we have a border that is open. there are no signals. So that was a fight between Ecuador and Peru. Each 5 years something happened, and the problem it was you had to buy arms if something happened. So we closed the signal of the border, not in terms of commercial
Trades.
traits,
Okay.
you know, in the the stacks and the points that you used to do. So we have also a lot of problems, but we try to make it and making better. Also the access to education, it was not so good. So there was a person in the 1895 that decided to make schools for forming teachers. So you get the title after being 18 years old. You can teach in a school, but it's only for teaching in a school. So if you have a big illiteracy problem, why don't we invent a school, a high school that develops the ability of people that feel that could teach small children?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's proof that when you know how to read, just your incomes go 10%.
Yeah.
Just because you are more.
Oh.
So, but you could do it.
Yeah.
Why don't you have almost high schools in Nigeria?
Yeah, we do have high
Yeah,
schools.
national high schools.
We
I
have
mean.
national high schools.
Why don't some of them you make a study? Say, why don't we push this 10, 20 or whatever people that know how to teach small children? You have teachers for small children.
Wow, this is quite informative. Honestly, talking with you just makes it comfortable, and knowing that we will grow. There's hope for Nigeria.
Yeah, of course.
Because when someone like me sees the things that happen, sometimes you ask yourself, is there hope? Should I run away from Nigeria? But with our discussion, we have been able to x-ray the economy of Ecuador from independence up until now, and the challenges you faced to get to where you are today, and I feel good. Another thing I know you guys have is tourism. You have a very beautiful environment.
Yeah, we have the advantage to have 4 regions and a small country. So even in 2 days, you could visit 3 regions: the coast, the highland, and the Amazon.
In 1 day.
Yeah, but the idea is not to do so fast, you know, because our coasts are marvelous. Also the highland, if you like hiking, you could make it. If you like jungle, you could make it. And of course, it's quite safe. It's not the safest place of the world. You have to take care. It's like everywhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We have recently a bad incident with 2 Argentinian tourists that were killed by somebody. It's under investigation. It's not the paradise, but you could make tourism. It's not usual. This is very unusual, this incident with these 2 tourists. And I'm do it openly, because if I said that Ecuador is the paradise, somebody will Google and they said 2 Argentinian backpackers were assassinated. So it's like everywhere. Of course, tourists have to have some, like everywhere. You know, you could be pickpocket in any metro or underground of any European city, and nobody says don't go to London, don't go to Madrid. You just put your pocket here.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. It's been Market Pulse, and we've been talking to Ambassador Verdesoto, and honestly, it's been quite informative. I have learned, and I know we all have learned, that we can make it. Nigeria can make it. They have cocoa like we do. They have bananas, they have shrimps, they have fish. The difference is that they do not just export banana. I thought they export banana as in raw banana, but he's made us understand that they process it, meaning they have cottage industries where all of these things are done. And this is the essence of Market Pulse, to look at the economies of the world, even national economies, and see how we can better it. Another thing he says as we wrap up is the fact that citizens put their resources together and they set up cottage industries. Although the government had to create an enabling environment, we hope that the Nigerian government will create an enabling environment as citizens begins to put up together cottage industries that will benefit the lives of everyone. The program is Market Pulse. Tomorrow is another day where we'll look at other angles of the economy: human, monetary, machinery. Remember, the economy runs on 3M: man, money, and machinery. We will look at that tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. There are other further programmings on PTV, Abuja #1 station. I am Lucy Agba. Thank you very much.
For your time. You know,